Hey guys, Max here for IGN. I'm at Comic-Con 2017. Ready Player One is Spielberg's next movie. It's based on the best-selling book that combines the future, the 80s, virtual reality, gaming, basically all the best things in the world. The cast and crew are going to be coming through here, so let's talk to them and see what this is all about. Now, this is an interesting movie because it takes place in the distant future, but it hinges so heavily on nostalgia, so you've got this kind of mix of high-tech elements, but also like a love of the past. Did you grow up watching Spielberg stuff?
Oh, I totally grew up watching Spielberg stuff. You know, like the whole kit and caboodle, every one of them, from Duel onwards. So yeah, this was especially it was especially awesome to get a call to go and meet Steven Spielberg, and I just nerded out.
You are writing Ready Player One with the author. You're working with Spielberg. Can you talk a little bit about this experience of bringing these characters together?
You know, it's pretty typical. You know, it's what my normal job is like, working with Spielberg. It's amazing. It's crazy. Even I've worked on a lot of movies, but to work with Steven and to work on a project like this it's almost, there's many days where I had to remind myself it was really happening. But also very complex. It's a really, I think Steven even said it's the most complex movie he's ever worked on, and it is definitely the most complex script I've ever written, in terms of just the number of different things that are happening at the same time.
Do you think this movie could have been made, or this book could have even been written, 10, 20 years ago, or is it one of those things that so hinges on gaming and interactivity and the internet?
No. Well, first of all, it definitely couldn't have been written 10 or 20 years ago because you need a certain amount of time for nostalgia to catch up. The other thing is, I don't think the technology would have been there to do some of the things that we're doing. I think Avatar, the stuff that Cameron did in Avatar was a necessary step for us to get to do what we did in this movie. I also think that, frankly, most directors could not have made this movie. I mean, it needed someone like Steven, not just to marshal the forces. Another director would have had to spend $400 million to make this movie, and only Steven really has the ability to draw together the top people in every field and do it on a budget and do it on time and get all the people to agree to license the things that we need. So, I mean, it only could have happened now this way, I would say.
Now, obviously, the book is very much about kind of nostalgia and appreciation of 80s culture, which Spielberg was such an integral part of. And at the same time, sticking too closely to the book would be, almost you want to have something new for people who've read it. Are you sort of kind of operating a balancing act here between the two?
Yeah. Although, look, I think Ernie said something to me once, actually, in this documentary I did. He said, I love things and I love people who love things. And I don't call us geeks, I call us enthusiasts. And I think one of the key points of the book is it's about people who are brought together over their shared love of culture that maybe other people dismiss, but that is actually very valuable and meaningful to them, which, by the way, that's what Comic-Con's about, right? So to a certain extent, it's not, even though the book is very much about the 80s, because that's the character of Halliday is motivated by that, even Ernie didn't want to just stick to it wasn't like there's a rule, anything that didn't happen in the 80s can't go in. And so we weren't as worried about that, but there is the balancing act. The hardest balancing act is, how do you get around referencing movies and not reference Steven Spielberg? I used to complain to him all the time, like, you've made too many good movies. You're making this really difficult for me.